Anne of the Palatinate, known in France as Anne of Bavaria, Princess Palatine, and Henriette Julie. The 13th of March 1648 to 23 February 1723, was a princess of the Palatinate and Countess Palatine of Simmern by birth, and was the wife of Henri Jules de Bourbon, eldest son of Louis, Grand Condé. Following her father-in-law's death, her husband succeeded as Prince of Condé, a purely honorary title, but one of the highest ranking in France. She was also the Princess of Arches in her own right from 1708. Background: Anne was born in Paris, the second of the three daughters of Prince Palatine Edward. Her mother was Anna Gonzaga, a well-known Parisian political hostess and sister of the Queen of Poland. Marriage: at the age of 15, she was engaged to Henri Jules, Duke of Enghien, the only surviving child of the famous military commander the Grand Condé. The Grand Condé was the most senior prince du sang at the French court, first prince of the blood. Henri Jules was his heir, and prior to his succession to the purely honorary title of Prince of Condé, was styled the Duke of Enghien and was addressed Monsieur le Duc. The marriage ceremony took place at the Palais du Louvre on the 11th of December 1663, with Louis XIV of France and the rest of the royal family in attendance. At this time, Anne became Madame la Duchesse, as Duchess of Enghien. At the death of her father-in-law in 1684, Anne took on the style of Madame la Princesse. She was also known as Anne, Princesse Palatine. Anne and Henri Jules had 10 children. Henri Jules, who suffered from clinical lycanthropy, was greatly supported by his wife. Anne is described as very pious, generous, and charitable, and was praised by many at court for her very supportive nature towards her husband, despite that her husband, who was prone to great rages, would often beat his quiet wife, even in the presence of other courtiers. Of her many children, 5 survived infancy. 4 of those went on to marry. Her mother was instrumental in helping bring about a marriage between her niece by marriage, Elizabeth Charlotte of the Palatinate, and the brother of Louis XIV, Philippe, Duke of Orléans, in 1671. Elizabeth Charlotte was Anne's first cousin, their fathers being brothers. In 1708, when her cousin Charles IV, Duke of Mantova, died, being his heiress, Anne Henriette became the Princess of Arches in her own right. Charles IV was the last Duke of Mantova. The next year, Anne's husband died in Paris on 1 April 1709, aged 65, making her son, Louis, the next Prince of Condé. Louis died the next year, and his son Louis Henry, Duke of Bourbon, became the next holder of the title. Anne was the princess for whom the Rue Palatine was named, the road in the 6th arrondissement of Paris, where she had lived in the Petit Luxembourg, next to the Luxembourg Palace in Paris. Anne also owned the Château du Rincy, which was sold to the House of Orléans in 1769. The Princess Palatine died in Paris at the age of 74, having outlived her husband and all but 2 of her children, namely the Princess of Conti and the Duchess of Maine. On her death, the Principality of Arches became extinct. The title was claimed by her son, the Prince of Condé, and her nephew, the son of her sister, Louise Marie of Bavaria. She was buried at the Carmel du Faubourg Saint-Jacques in Paris. Issue: Ancestry, Titles, Styles, Honours and Arms, Titles and Styles. The 13th of March 1648 to 11 December 1663, Her Serene Highness Princess Anne of the Palatinate. The 11th of December 1663 to 11 November 1686, Her Serene Highness the Duchess of Enghien, Madame la Duchesse. The 11th of November 1686 to 1 April 1709, Her Serene Highness the Princess of Condé, Madame la Princesse. 1st of April 1709 to 23 February 1723, Her Serene Highness the Dowager Princess of Condé, Madame la Princesse. Media related to Anne Henriette of Bavaria at Wikimedia Commons.